It's Colleen coming in with the Couture project tonight. We're going a little spooky tonight. We're going to do some Halloween fun adventures tonight. So let's get this party started. Come on, iPad, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Just bear with me for 1 second. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Okay, my iPad is being exceptionally slow tonight. There we go. We are here. Okay, hello, Jess. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Okay, there we go. We are saved, and we are ready to rock and roll. So, let us change out our design. We had our cute surf and sand. Here comes the sun. So we are going to actually just erase this. I had put a little bit of water on here right before coming live because I wanted to show you just how easy it is to remove the designs from your chalkboards when you use the Chalkology paste. Simple and easy. A little water and a little bit of paper towels, and you are off to the races getting your previous design off and getting ready to change it out for some spooky Halloween fun. Let's grab my little water spritzer here. Add a little bit more. It's nice too if you put the water on first and let it sit for a few minutes. It really makes it even that much easier to get the design off because it's going to reactivate the chalk and make it liquid again. And so it makes it really easy. I kind of learned that lesson instead of, spraying and then immediately going to remove. Just let it sit for a second and the water will do the work for you. Now you may see that I have a little bit of ghosting here on my lovely Aiden chalkboard. This is one of our designer Couture chalkboards. So what we're going to do for that, we have a remedy for that if it happens. And the lovely tool for this job is called our board eraser. So basically I just go in a circular motion over my previous design with the board eraser. And we're going to go ahead and get that ghosting off. I don't know if you've ever worked with chalk before, but that is a known side effect, so to speak, when you're using chalk. And we've got you covered if that happens. Just use the handy board eraser and you are ready to go. It's going to take care of all that ghosting. Hello, Linda Davis Rose. How are you, stranger? Congrats to you. Grandma again. That's so awesome. She's adorable. Okay, now we are ready to rock and roll. So I said we were coming in with the Halloween project, and we've got a good one. It is our brand new from our Autumn Winter 2019 catalog, and it's flying lessons. Isn't that adorable? I have some great ideas for this tonight. It might be a little bit longer of a project, but if you hang in there with me, then I'm hoping for a good one. So, as I always like to point out, all of the care and use instructions are on the back of all of our transfers. So in case you forget any of the steps for cleaning that I'm going to go over tonight, they're right back on the back of the transfer carrier thingamabobby. What am I trying to say? Goodness gracious. The little packaging, that's what I'm trying to say. They're always there right for you. So no worries about, forgetting what you need to do to take care of your transfers. Because I don't know if you're like me. I want to get the most I can out of my transfers. So what am I doing now? I am actually fuzzing our transfers. So, oh, thanks, Jess. I hope it comes out. My fingers are crossed, man. We're going to see how this is going to work. So we're going to fuzz this. And the reason that we do that, we labeled the back first so that we know this is the back of the carrier sheet. We're going to just remove it. Because our transfers, as you can see in 1 second, I'm going to show you. Look, they're sticky. They're sticking to my hand. And why are they sticky? The reason that they are sticky is so that they adhere very well to your surface, because you want the chalk paste, or if you're using our Couture ink, you want that to go right through the silkscreen area. You want a nice tight seal. But the problem is Oh, nice, Lori. That's so awesome. The thingamabobber. I know. My words, Jess. Oh, my goodness. You know, when you're staring down the barrel of the 50s, then the mind starts to forget things. So, yeah. Bear with me with my thingamabobbies. Hello, Maria. How are you? So I basically just put it down and pick it up on my fuzzing cloth about 3 times. And so that's just going to lighten some of the stickiness, especially if you're using our transfers on mirrors or glass. It's going to adhere to that pretty well. So you want to make sure you get you're fuzzing it pretty well prior to using that. The chalkboards, I feel like 3 times picking up and down is good. But for glass, whew, yeah, you have to be very careful with glass or mirrors. Make sure you are fuzzing the heck out of your transfer. So why am I running my hands all over this? The reason that I'm running my hands all over the transfer, it's not that I love the way that it feels, which I do, it's kind of cool, but I'm trying to get all the bubbles out of here. So we just want to make sure that there's no bubbles in our silkscreen area. And when you have a little bit larger of a silkscreen area like this, you just want to be careful, because if you go to chalk on that and you've got a bubble in there, you are going to see it. So a nice little tip is to hold your surface up, and if you have a light shining on it, you can really see the bubbles in there if you have any. So that's just a great mid-50s. Oh, I'm catching up, Lori. I'm catching up. I got the big 5-0 coming up soon. So, yeah, oh, I hate even saying that out loud. But I'm right there with you, girl. Catching up. So I feel like I don't have any bubbles in here. I feel like we're good. So we're going to just rock and roll with this. And the color that I chose, because I'm trying to remember to always point out what I'm using. So this is our lovely 8 and board 9x12. Comes with your designer kit if you so choose to become a designer. If not, you can always purchase this bad boy right on my online store too. The chalk paste that I'm using tonight, I gotta go Halloween, guys. We're doing Halloween. So let's get some grape soda. We're gonna use some orange peel. These are all of our 3-ounce chalk paste. I'm gonna go with our standard, not standard, I mean, white is like the staple of chalk. So we gotta get some white in there. We're gonna do that. And then I'm also gonna use some buttermilk. And I'm using the buttermilk for the little stars to give it a little pop, I'm hoping. So we are like fine wine. I could not have said that better, Laurie. You are absolutely 100% right on. I do like me a little bit of Moscato. That is my wine of choice, which I guess, is that a wine? I don't know. I think it is. That is my wine of choice. So yes, I will call myself a fine Moscato any day. All right, I'm hoping, Jess. My fingers are crossed, man. Okay, so this is a brand new chalk paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you what happens when you have a brand new chalk paste. Don't panic, guys, if your chalk paste comes looking like this. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. If you don't have a multi-tool and you don't have a stirry stick, a plastic knife is going to do the job just as well. But this is designed specifically for this. And not only that, it's got this great edge that I'm going to put to use tonight for my border. So when it looks like this, it's a little stiff, and that's okay. That happens. So you're just going to get in there and you're going to give it a good vigorous stir with whatever tool you happen to be using. So I am just going to stir the heck out of this thing until I get it to that nice yogurt-like consistency. And this tool gets all the way around. I always want to say the corners. There's no corners. It's a round jar. It gets all the way around in there. And we just give a little elbow grease. And I promise you, once you start stirring it and you stop hearing that. Of course, I stopped. Here we go. Let's see if you can hear it. Can you guys hear that? It's like Rice Krispies, kind of. Hi, Angie. How are you? Moscato. Yay, girl. You're Team Moscato, definitely. They have a, Jess, what is it, coconut Moscato that we've had? Oh, coconut Moscato. I love anything coconut. And that coconut Moscato, woo, that is the best. Now, if you are finding that your chalk paste is not dripping off your utensil of choice, then all you need to do is go ahead and spritz a little bit of water into it. And it's going to revive it and get it to that nice, creamy, yogurt-like batter, cake batter, whatever you so choose to compare it to. It's going to get it to that consistency. You're going to add just a little bit of water at a time because you don't want to over water it. Yes, me too, Jess. Some coconut Moscato, that is calling my name. All right, I'm just going to put this off to the side. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just actually going to wipe this off with my paper towel real quick because I want to use, like I said, the other side of this for my detailing around the border. I'm going to try to not keep you all because I don't know about you, but I have a preseason football game to go down and relax and watch. So I'm going to try and do it a little bit quickly, but still give you the gist of what we're doing here. So this is our buttermilk. We're just going to stir that up. I'm using my little stirry stick. And again, don't be bashful. Get in there and really stir. And then you're going to get to that consistency that we need. And yep, I do this at the beginning of every project. I stir up my chalk paste. And that's A-okay. That's what you need to do. Because you're vacationing in Florida. Uh-oh. Hold up. I need some more details. Where are you in Florida? Because Florida is my home away from home. I can't wait to hear where you're vacationing in Florida. I will be down in my favorite place in Florida, which is Disney World. And I want to say, and you're going to laugh, but I think I have it down to a science. 47 days, I think, is what our countdown is. I cannot wait. Visiting my son in Fort Walton Beach. Where? That's so awesome, Lori. Where is Fort Walton Beach? I've never heard of that. Where is that? Is that close to Disney? Because that's where I go. That's pretty much the only place I go in Florida. I would love to at some... Oh, no, I lied. I have been to Treasure Island in St. Petersburg. So I've been there in Florida for a vacation. I would love to get to the Keys at some point. That's on the bucket list. All right, here we go. I got everything stirred. We're ready to rock and roll. I've got all my paste here over on the side. Oh, and the panhandle. Okay. All right, awesome. So I would imagine you're getting out onto the beach maybe? Is it great weather down there? You're getting out to enjoy some beach time with your son? That would be awesome. I would love that. My husband's not a beach person, so I don't get to go on the beach barely at all. So I miss that because I grew up going to Avalon, which is in South Jersey. It's one of our beach towns, and I grew up going down there, and so I miss just hanging out on the beach, just chilling. I miss that. Okay, so here's my thought. We're going to do all the dots in our orange peel. I'm going to do the frame around in our grape soda. I'm going to do the stars, as I mentioned, in the buttermilk. I'm going to do the Flying Lessons broom included in Salem, all in white. And then I'm going to come in and do our witch in the pumpkin. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, he really isn't, Jess. He really is not a beach person. I think I'm going to have to probably paste and pick up and lay back down again. So I'm trying to plan out my game plan here. I think I'm probably going to have to do the dots. And maybe I can squeeze in the witch, because I'd love to have the witch as my guide when I dry and put back down. So that's my game plan. Let's dive in and just do it. And we're going to see. Hopefully it's not going to start drying on me. I'm going to come in and just kind of try to quickly cover these dots. This is taking a little longer than I thought because I don't want to hit that line. So I may have to peel if this starts looking like it's drying on me. And this is going to take forever, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to go quick. I promise you I am. I'm just trying to be careful, too. Okay. So it's kind of like painting with your little multi-tool. Consider that your paintbrush. Okay. And I'm not going to be too terribly concerned about getting the excess off because I'm trying to be fast. But I want to make sure, too, that I am going back over it because I want to make sure it's pushing through that silk screen. Okay, I'll just pop over to the side. Hopefully my big fat head isn't getting in the way. Sometimes I forget that there's a camera right up there, and I put my big head in the way. This side I feel like I have a little bit more leeway, so I'm going to go a little quicker over here and try to just scoop it right down. That didn't work out too well, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try that again. Scoop it right down. Nope. All right, I think I'm gonna go the way of just trying to get each dot. I was hoping it was gonna go a little quicker, but not so much. And I feel like I am gonna pick this up after I do the dots. I don't think I wanna chance it trying to get the witch covered. Okay, we're almost to the end of the dotted line here. I apologize, I'm not looking over at comments right now. So hang tight if I'm missing you. Oops, I got some on my board. No worries, I can wash that off. Because as you saw in the beginning, our chalk paste comes right off with water. Okay, so I'm gonna put my multi-tool off to the side. I'm gonna lift this up. Remember, whenever we're taking the transfer off, we're gonna go top to bottom or left to right. So in this case, I'm gonna go this away and peel back. Now we've got all our dots, and I can see where I was a little light. So maybe like right here in this section, I'm gonna dry this for a hot second. I can maybe come back and catch a couple of those dots that I missed. There we go. Just want to make sure that's good and dry. It feels so cool when you run your hands over it, all the little raised dots. It's kind of neat. Okay, we're going to line this back up. I'm going to try my best to line it back up because it is, I'm not going to lie, it's just a little hard to see through the silk screen, but I'm going to just kind of try my best to gauge where I am, just to make sure I'm at least in the ballpark. And I think it's going to be easier once I do the line in the dark purple and the grape soda. I think it's going to be easier. Where the heck is that dot? There it is. I just saw it. Hold on, I ran over it. I'm just moving my silk screen until I'm seeing the orange dot come over this corner right here. If you're wondering what the heck this crazy lady is doing with the transfer right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting to the point where I can see the orange dot right there. Perfect. I'm going to push down. I got the dot right there. I just want to make sure this side I'm getting the dot, because I might be my angle might be a little off. I'm just going to kind of lightly pick that back up. There we go. Our dot's there. I'm going to hold that there until I get my bottom dot. And I feel like I'm right there, hopefully. Yep. That was kind of cool. It just laid right down and I saw the dot pop right up through it. Okay, cool. We are in a good spot, but I see bubbles in there, so I just want to straighten this out. And that's important to note too, is that if you're doing the picking up and putting back down, make sure you're checking again for bubbles. So is that an embossing? It actually is, yes, it is an embossing gun. I actually used I guess a 30% coupon at Michael's, and I got it for, I want to say like 20 bucks, but a hairdryer works just as well. So, you know, no worries there. Maria, if you want to use a hairdryer, that works too. All right, let's get on to our next layer. I'm going to use one of our old squeegees that I cut, which is perfect for this job. So I'm going to just get a little bit of grape soda on here, and we're going to come in and we're going to do this guy here. And again, I'm trying to make sure I'm pushing it through. You can't just kind of like paint. You kind of do have to push it through with the squeegee so that it is going through the silk screen. You saw how over here I didn't push it through good enough, and it was a little bit lighter, but that's okay. I'm going to come back and I'm going to grab my little multi-tool and I'm going to add some orange if I have time, unless I feel like this purple's drying. We're just going to be careful not to hit the words. This is going to be the trickiest part, the most time consuming, and I appreciate your patience, because once we get this done, I think the rest is going to be pretty easy. But we're getting the harder stuff out of the way first. That's kind of what I like to do. I like to get the harder stuff out of the way first and then move on to the easier. That's just me. Okay. Come back up here up top. Get a little bit more, and no worries. Like I said, if you have too much chalk paste on your squeegee, it can always go back into your jar. Okay, so no worries about putting too much on there. We are almost done our purple piece. There we go. There we go. Okay, I think we've got all the purple now. I did get a little bit on the orange, but that's okay because it's not on the dot, so we're good. Any excess goes back into our jar. Let's see, hopefully I got everything on this run, so let's see where we are. Oh, I didn't push it through. So what we're gonna do, it didn't come through over here. Hopefully it didn't dry, so I'm gonna try to add a little bit more. I caught it before I fully pulled it up. So I'm just gonna try to go over it again. Hopefully it didn't dry while I was taking my time, but let's see. It dried. Okay, so no worries. I'm gonna come back and do that again too. But the rest of it looks good. So what I'll do is once everything's all said and done, I'm gonna lay it back down, get these couple dots, which I'm just being nitpicky. Here I'm more concerned with. I wanna get that purple line in there, but that's okay. I'm gonna come back and do that. But the rest of it looks fantastic. And I like that we're doing this together because this way we can, if things go wrong, which things always go wrong in my lives, so it's a great learning experience. And it's nice that I can do it wrong and then show you guys how we're gonna fix it. Okay, and I feel like I didn't go through all the way up here either. Okay, but we're gonna just keep going because, like I said, I don't wanna take up all your time. So this hopefully will be a little bit easier to match. So I can see this little burst over here in the corner, and I've got that matched. This burst over here was a little not quite as prominent, so it's a little bit harder to see that one through. Whoops, I just moved it. Okay, that's on, that's on. That is on, I think, or maybe just a little off. Nope, that one was off. Okay. Yep, we're good. I got them all matched back up again. And remember, like I said, just make sure again, no bubbles. Want to make sure there's no bubbles. So let's go ahead. I think I want to do something big. So let's do the witch in the center. We all go through that. I had to do the pumpkin spice 3 times. Yep, and that happens. It's okay. You know, that's the great thing about it. Well, the other thing, first off and foremost, I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. I am not creative by any stretch of the imagination. But what I hear a lot is that art is very subjective, and it does not always have to be 100% perfect, which I love. So even when you have a project that isn't always 100% perfect, it still is perfect in some cases. You know what I mean? So it's all up to interpretation. I feel like this was not matching because I can kind of see it. Hold on, I want to do this one more time because I feel like this was not matching. It shouldn't really matter because everything's in the center, but I'm a little bit anal, so I'm just making sure that we're kind of in the right spot here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the witch. I'm just going to hold this up again, make sure I'm not seeing any bubbles in there. Now let me load up my squeegee again. So we're going to do the witch, and then I think that this was going to be all that we're going to need for the orange peel once we're done the witch. Now, remember too, because we're really taking our time with this project and we're bouncing back and forth between colors, your chalk paste is really going to start to dry on this silk screen. So you just want to make sure that as soon as we are done, we're going to get it into water, and we're going to let the water kind of start to get the chalk paste out. We're using darker pigmented chalk paste, so they are most likely going to stain your transfer. So long as you're getting all of the silkscreen area cleaned out in the water, then I think you're going to be fine. The staining is not going to matter. Oh, she looks so cool. And let me point this out to you because you may be like, uh-oh, you missed some. Nope, because if you look at the silk screen, I'm going to try to hold this up for you. You can see these little marks in here, they are distressed marks. So they're part of the teal section that is going to make things look distressed. So we're good. She's good. She's supposed to look like that. I got a tiny little spot here. Now here's a little tip too. You can usually just use your nail to get that off. I had a little boo-boo there. Or you can just use a wet Q-tip to get any little spots that you want kind of off. Let me just make sure that's dry. And that's still a little warm, but I'm not going to be chalking right there. If you were going to be going back and chalking over there again, see how much easier it is to match it up now that you've got the witch? Can you see how she's just lining up perfectly on here? That makes it a lot easier. Okay, so what was I saying? So yeah, you could use a little Q-tip with a little bit of water on it, and that will help you to get rid of any little boo-boos that you have. Anytime you might have accidentally gone off the transfer. Okay, I feel like this has been sitting open for a few minutes, so I want to just come back in and give it another quick stir. I usually like to close all my my colors, my chalk paste, when I'm done with them. But again, I'm trying to not take up your whole night, so we're going to do that later. But let's get the words in here now. We'll do our little flying lessons, and then all we'll need to do is our stars. That's so awesome. We're almost done. That actually wasn't too terrible. So if I just take my squeegee and just kind of run it right across, see how easy that was? Just trying to be careful. I'm getting in some of my excess back in the jar. I'm going to go one more time over, this time a little more pressure, and that's even going to get more of that chalk paste back off. Okay? So see how it pulls it right over? Pretty cool. Trying not to hit that star there. All right, we've got that. Now we just need to do down here. And I'm trying to be a little quick because I don't want this to dry. So I think I may have mentioned in some of my other lives, another way, in case you're worried about drying, I could stop right now and throw a paper towel over top of here and lightly mist it. And that will keep the chalk paste activated if you're concerned about it drying, because that by far makes me the saddest. If it starts to dry and then you pull up your transfer and all your chalk comes with it. So that's another way to avoid that happening, is to just put a damp paper towel over top, and that will keep your chalk paste wet. Okay. Alrighty, we've got all our words covered. I think we're good. Oh, thanks, Lori. I appreciate that. It was kind of yay! Oh, I love it. Once we get that pop of yellow in here, holy cow! It's gonna look so pretty. I forgot where I was drying. I was going back to the border. Oh, you already dried that. Alrighty. Now, this part is where we do want to be careful. We want to make sure that everything's dry, but we want to make sure the board isn't too hot. Okay? Thanks, Lori. I appreciate that encouragement. I was a little nervous about this one because I always get worried when they're longer projects, because I feel like I just never want to take up too much of your guys' time, you know, watching me do this. But this one, when I saw it, I was just like, oh, I've got some ideas, but I know it's going to take a little while. So I'm just pressing down my stars to make sure there's no bubbles there. Okay, and then we're just going to come in and we're going to make sure that we've got them covered in our buttermilk. So one more squeegee. It's nice to have a bunch of little squeegees at the ready so that you don't have to clean them. So we're going to make quick work of this, covering these guys. There we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I always count in my head. I actually was counting out loud, but I always count things when I'm doing stuff. It's kind of weird. All right. I'm hoping that this buttermilk is going to be enough of a pop of color in there. We shall see. Okay. And we're done! How awesome! I'm just going to get some of this excess chalk paste off here because I want to put that back into my jar. We always put it back in there, right? Okay. And here we go. Oh, you are so funny, Laura. You could watch all day. It is kind of relaxing watching people doing it, right? It's like, what's his name? My husband loves him. Bob Ross. Watching Bob Ross. Remember Bob Ross on Channel 12, who used to be the Happy Little Trees? Oh my gosh. I actually, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm not terribly sad about this not coming out. But I'm kind of a little nervous about trying to line that line back up to make it. It's like, do I just let my OCD go and not come back in and try and fix this because I'm afraid I'm going to make it worse if I try to line this back up? I don't know. I think I might leave it, honestly. I think it came out flippin' awesome. I really like the colors, and I think, yes, the buttermilk definitely gave it the pop I was looking for. You like Bob Ross too, the Happy Little Trees? My husband loves him. It's so funny. But he's very relaxing. He's probably if you can catch him on reruns and stuff, he'd probably be great to watch right before bed. I'm sure it would like really help you sleep if you have problems sleeping like I do. Probably would be a great idea to just pop him on the TV, and I bet you he would get you nice and relaxed for bed. But it's cool. I love seeing different designers and different tricks and tips and things like that, and some of their inspiration. I love that this community of chalkers are such sharing and caring people that, you know, everything is available for you to see and to be inspired by. So I think that's really awesome. Like I said, not a creative bone in this body at all. But it's so nice to be able to experiment and share it with you guys, and kind of work on projects together. I think it's fun. Okay, watch this. Oh, that's awesome. That is so great. I'm so glad to hear that Bob Ross is still, you know, alive and well in the hearts of our younger generation, that they're still getting to see him. It's so awesome. That's so cool. My son is a little bit artistic, and he's a pretty good drawer, so I'm always jealous of him with his being able to draw. Oh my God, I know. Totally, Laurie. The chalk family is so awesome. So awesome. Thanks, Maria. I think it came out super adorable. It was kind of just about what I thought. I was really hoping that I nailed that corner down a little bit better, but I gotta let it go. Like the Disney song, I gotta let it go. It's fine. It's perfect. It's adorable. So I don't know. I'm gonna bring in our bucket here so we can show you how to clean. Because I always like to do that. I like to show, you know, the projects from beginning to end. So let's bring that bucket in. This is my cheapy little dollar store, well-loved bucket that you can see all my old chalk paste in there. But it's great just to have one of these guys right next to you so you can just be throwing things in as you go. Because I said, I love that the water does all the work for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. And you guys, if you don't want to see me clean again, thank you so much for watching and hanging in there with me. But I'm going to go ahead and get these things cleaned. Just because I think it's important to know, you know, how to take care of the stuff that you have. Because you're spending your hard-earned money on these products. And you want them to last. At least I know I want them to last. So I think it's really important to just show, you know, the projects from beginning to end, so you know how to take care of your transfer so that you can get the most for your money. That's kind of my thing. I'm frugal. Yep, I said it. I don't mind saying it. I am definitely always looking for bargains and looking for great things. And by the fact that the transfers are reusable and that all the tools are reusable, that just makes my heart happy. I love that. Okay, we got all of our tools just about cleaned, and I know some of them still have some of the colored chalk on there, but that's okay. I think I've got some stuff hiding under the transfer. Once the transfer is in water, it does lose its sticky. but it does come back. And so I'm going to bring this in a little bit closer. It might be a little hard to see because the water is starting to change color to pretty colors with all the different chalk that we used. I just have one more squeegee to get out of here. But I want to kind of show you, I flipped it back to the side that we chalked on. And remember how I said normally the transfers, the water will start to clean the transfer, but because we kept doing, pulling it up, putting it back down, the paste really is starting to dry on here. So you have to give a little bit of extra elbow grease to kind of try to get that chalk paste back off. And as I mentioned, it's not all going to come back off, especially because we use some of the darker pigmented chalk pastes, like the grape soda. When you use red, for example, the candy apple red, that's going to definitely stain too. So you just want to kind of make sure you're not stretching out your transfer in here in your bucket. You're kind of holding it from the edge, never like diagonally, because that will stretch out the silk screen. But I just kind of use the bottom of the bucket and push my sponge on it to try to get that chalk paste off. And the good thing is, with our final step, when we come in here and we use our disinfectant wipe, that's going to help even more. So let me I missed a little bit over here. It did a pretty decent job of getting most of it off, but as I mentioned, we are going to have some staining, and that's okay. So let's slide this guy back over. We want to put our transfer back down so that the where it was sticky, this is the sticky side, which is not sticky right now because it's wet, but we want to put it that way on our towel. And then what we're going to do is, I like to just come in with another paper towel, and I like to get some of that excess water from the back here. Just get that off. And then clean my tools. I'm not going to go through cleaning all my tools, but when you use a disinfectant wipe, when you start to notice that you're getting some, some chalk paste in here or in the little grooves, that's when I like to kind of do a cleaning. I don't do it every time with the disinfectant wipe, but every once in a while I will come in and use the disinfectant wipe to clean off my tools. And you'll notice that, see, like this one that has some chalk still on it, once you clean them with the disinfectant wipe, it really gets any of that residual chalk off of there, okay? I always tell myself, these are my tools. I got it. Yes, Laurie, exactly. And I always say to my husband, like, I hate doing a job, any kind. I'm not handy, but if I do have to do something like hanging up curtains or something like that, I hate not having the right tools. That drives me batty because it's like you're working harder, not smarter. So when you have the right tools, it makes it go so much better. There's nothing worse than having or trying to hang curtains. This drives me batty. Trying to hang curtains with not having a drill. Trying to do it with an old screwdriver. I'm too old for that nonsense. Like, that kills me. So if you got the right tools, it makes things so much better. Okay, so we've got our silk screen clean on the front. And now you're going to notice, look, it's starting to kind of stick to my towel because it's starting to get dry on the back. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing. And the disinfectant wipe, one thing to note here, don't use baby wipes with our products, because the baby wipes, even though they kind of are sort of similar, there's something in the baby wipes, and I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something in a baby wipe that does not work with our products. So just that little FYI there, just to let you know. So disinfectant, could be dollar store disinfectant wipes, it's okay, just so long as it's not baby wipes. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting all of that out of there. And then we're going to let that dry. And then here's where it comes back into play, where we labeled our backer sheet, right? Because the backer sheet, if I could find it, here it is. That's the shiny side, so that's where we want to return the transfer to. So in a transfer this size, the smaller ones are pretty easy, but the big ones can be a little bit challenging sometimes. But I do kind of the same process no matter what size transfer I'm using. I always leave it on my drying cloth and then just try to match it up. So just like so. It's never going to get on there 100% perfect, like out of the factory, so to speak. I can never get it back on there 100%. Perfect, but it's okay. So long as it's on there, whoops, and that was not even close to being on there. So let me try and flip it. Let's try that again. Now just be careful that you're not, this is why I usually don't try to put it back on this way, because this is what causes transfers to stick. So let's start that again. We're not going to try that, because that is the worst, if the transfer sticks to itself. We don't want that to happen. So let's take 2 on this. And it's okay. Sometimes they don't cooperate as well as, they don't play as nicely sometimes as they should. But we're going to make them get on there. There we go. That's better. Just a little patience. Now, again, I always like to flip it back, and any little ridges or bubbles in here, I like to just smooth those away, because sometimes you might not realize that if you like store your transfers in a tote or a drawer or something, and there's little bubbles in here, and then you've got them all stacked on top, sometimes it'll leave a permanent crease. So I like to just make sure I get all of that out. Again, this is just me being obsessive and making sure that my transfers are in good order so I can keep using them. And then again, we're back to the beginning where we were when we removed our transfer from its packaging. And again, I'll note that everything that I just went over in tonight's video is on the back of here for you to reference when you are trying to, oops, put in that upside down, when you need it to reference on how to take care of your transfers. Everything is right there. So that was not at all what I meant to do. Now I got the packaging stuck to it. Let's try that again. I just want to get it back in here, and then I'm going to bring our project in one more time. I always like to bring it back in. There we go. Now it's back in its package. So let's slide this off for a second. I'll clean that when we're done. And voila, there is tonight's fun project. Yay! I'm so happy. It's so stinking cute. I can't get over this. You know what's weird? Because I am not a Halloween birthday baby, but I'm close to Halloween, and so I hated Halloween when I was growing up because I always had Halloween themed parties. But as an adult, I love Halloween decor. I don't know what it is about it. I just love Halloween decor. It's just, I get giddy over it. It's funny. But yeah, this one, thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me tonight. And I feel like I have just been like Speedy Gonzalez with my mouth just talking and talking and talking. So I'm going to leave you with that and hope that you all have a fantastic rest of your Thursday night and enjoy your weekend. And I will try to possibly come in. I probably won't tomorrow night because I have an event Saturday. So I'm going to be planning and packing for my event Saturday, and then I'll be gone all day Saturday. So I'm going to try to come in on Sunday morning if I can. To do another fun project with you guys. So until then, enjoy your night, enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye. Be safe out there.